Chapter 7 is about treating codependency. Marvin and I believe that codependents can be loved and respected into their recovery. The genuineness of the love and respect is measured by staying in communication. We believe that a little discomfort, which is caused by our confrontation in sessions, is very helpful in assisting the client to use the art of self-confrontation. It's difficult to endure sometimes, but what comes out of it is honest communication, and a great deal of discomfort in this area, in this time in the client's life, is really effective because the client will be less limited and more encouraged and be able to incorporate those findings, those lessons, into the script they're constantly rewriting for their life. Codependency is an addiction underlying all other addictions. It's often, I often contract with a patient, with a client, because compliance is one of the central fibers in being codependent and doing codependent stuff. I also remind them once again that you cannot give what you do not have. We suggest to our clients and group members that they select a counselor, and it's great to ask what the counselor did to take care of his or herself in their mental health area. There's nothing wrong with that. The one question most always keeps the client from making a mistake in choosing a life coach or a counselor who may not be aware of getting into an enmeshment with their clients is to say, how do you take care of yourself? And if the therapist or life coach or counselor doesn't give you a clear, straight, immediate answer, I'd continue looking, because you need someone who can guide you. And in order for them to guide you, they need to have dealt with all of their stuff before they try to help you. Marvin and I, back in the late 80s, wrote a book called Love at the Drive-Thru Window. And all of our friends who were in the counseling industry were furious with us. They said, you can't do fast therapy. That's not good. Well, I spent about $3,500 learning how to do NLP, which stands for Neuro-Linguistic Programming, so that I could say the words that would help people bypass their filters and all their normal reactions to people asking them questions. This book depicted our belief that a counselor has an obligation not only to be effective, but to be effective quickly. We truly wanted the consensus of the people we had in our groups to think, if you can help us get done with this more dynamically, we want to learn those things. We believe that as a therapist, a counselor, or life coach, anyone who is serious about seeking positive closure to therapeutic relationship can be early in the relationship to facilitate that closure. We have a list of ways a therapist or counselor or life coach can begin to mention and take a look at closure. I would think that developing a closure mindset from the very beginning of a therapeutic relationship is the most positive way to go. I've discovered in the last 20 years doing that it's very helpful. You have a timeline. The client knows that they will be through with this sometime. And also, when I release a client from treatment, what I do is I say, go and live your life and come back when you stumble on something else, and we'll figure out how to get you over that. It's very helpful. This allows the person to know, hey, I'm going to get through this, and then I'm going to go practice, and if I need her, she's going to be here, or need him, he's going to be here. The client or coachee that the therapist helps will be proud of their recovery and positively connected with the therapist. They will also tell friends about the valuable help they received. Another way would be to put an end in the beginning of treatment by collaborating on a solid plan, like take an overview of the coaching or the counseling. That way you'd have a list and there would be an end to it, and that helps people because they can see that there is an end to therapy. Therapy is not life, and life is not therapy. Okay, another way to help your client or help your friend, whoever it is you're working with, is to have positive presuppositions. Marvin and I both believe that any therapist or life coach can really help people into recovery by believing in the recovery and by communicating his or her belief to the client or coachee. Another way is counselors or therapists or life coaches all need to take care of themselves, like we talked about a while ago, and clear their issues constantly. I work about once a month on mine. It's like I do a 4th step once a month because I don't want to have anything clouding me up that's going to cause someone else to stumble. We believe that the work of effective therapists should be modeled. Most of what we contribute in life, we learn from modeling after other people. I have spent a lot of time studying the things that people do and attempting to incorporate these skills of other therapists, life coaches, counselors, who have been doing it longer than I have, into my practice, because I know that they know that this works. So I get to practice it with the people that I work with. Again, life coaches, counselors, and therapists should be positive thinkers and doers themselves. Remember, people do what they see you do much more than they would ever do from what you tell them or ask them to do.